Let's do it. So Yoav, thank you so much for that intro. As Yoav said, I started here at PhotoShelter a few months ago, but I was previously the office manager at Slack. So I've brought a lot of my knowledge here when it comes to community building and kind of keeping people connected, which is difficult now, especially that you have people working remote, some people working in the office. So what I've always done is try to really mesh the virtual and physical office spaces, and Slack is a great tool for that. So I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite tips for maintaining culture, creating company culture. And these tips will be great whether you're an organizer or a participant in the community. I think as an office manager, like I said, I'm often tasked with creating or maintaining a culture, and that's not just a one-person job. Culture requires participation from everyone in the community. I can sort of steer folks in one direction or another, but my job should really be to support the passions and interests that are already there. So hopefully some of these tips will help you kind of support the natural direction of your community or organization's culture. So first, it's very important to note that Slack can be used as so much more than just a chat tool. If you're just using it for sort of instant messaging, you're missing out on so many great features. It is great for connecting with coworkers, no matter where they are. As I said, folks are very distributed right now. But one of my favorite things is that it's a great amalgamation of your organization's collective knowledge. So I'll talk a bit about search later, but Slack is such a great tool for searching and seeing what people are talking about. And when it comes to building a community, that's so important. Additionally, Slack has a lot of fun features that you can sort of use to create a lighthearted and inclusive environment. You can see here, I have some Giphies. I'll talk about that later as well. So first up, I want to talk about channels, which are the backbones of your workspace. Channels are very important because setting these up well kind of determines how well folks will be able to communicate in your workspace. You can see I have a screenshot here of some channels in our PhotoShelter brands community. These are all public channels. So public channels are definitely the most important thing when it comes to having open communication in your workspace. I kind of think of public versus private channels in office terms because that's my background. Thinking about a public channel, the conversation happening in there would be a conversation that I would feel comfortable having just walking down the hallway in the office or sort of spinning my chair around and talking to my buddy. It's nothing confidential, and it's information that if someone overheard it, it's totally okay. Whereas a private channel is for private conversations, obviously. Maybe that's a conversation that you would duck into a conference room to have. Maybe you're having a one-on-one with someone. So for that kind of conversation, you would have a private channel. There's certainly a time and place for both, but I do encourage public channels just to keep information flowing throughout your workspace. It's also very important to make sure your channels are focused around specific topics. This makes it much easier to find the conversations and content that you're looking for, and it just helps keep people focused and they know exactly where to look to talk about whatever they want to talk about. It's also very important to star your important channels and direct messages. This keeps your top of mind stuff at the top of your sidebar. You can see that I have a couple starred channels in this screenshot also. I do have our free trial channel starred because I want to make sure to sign up for that free PhotoShelter brands trial. And I also have the What's Next channel starred because I want to, stay in touch and make sure I know who's coming on and who's speaking after me. I know also we did hear from Brad earlier from the Free Wheelchair Collective, and there was some interest in creating a nonprofit channel. So I think that is something that we'll see in the workspace soon as well. Next up are notifications.
Yeah, I think Jeremy just opened it actually. So if you are watching this and you want to, if you work in nonprofits or you're interested, you can join that channel right now.
Great, thanks, Yoav. So next up are notifications, which are kind of a make it or break it feature. I know a lot of people say notifications are too noisy. Some people turn them off completely. That makes me very nervous, but you should do whatever works for you. So some tips about making sure you can make notifications work for you. My favorite one is to set channel specific notification settings. So this is very helpful if you have maybe a particular project channel or a channel with a customer and you want to get notified of maybe every new message in that channel because it's important. So you can set channel specific notification settings in that channel. Whereas maybe you have more of a social channel, maybe there's a channel where folks share pictures of their pets or recipes, and you don't need to hear every single message in there. Again, that's totally up to you, whatever's important for you. So you can set different channel specific notification settings in there. Additionally, I would always encourage you to mute channels that you don't need to see every new message for, or you could also just leave channels. Sometimes it feels really good to leave a channel and just get it off your sidebar for a bit. Another really cool feature that I like is using keyword notifications. So this works in a way that you can set a specific keyword or phrase and you'll always get notified for it. So for example, again, you can set your keyword to be maybe a customer name, a project name, or just maybe something you're interested in. I like getting notified when people are talking about desserts. So some of my keyword notifications are cookies, pie, cupcakes. That's what's important to me. So that's what I want to get notified about. Also,
Yeah, Eden, one thing I do, if I can interrupt, one thing I do, talk about keywords and mentions, is I made my name a keyword notification. So, because not everybody tags you all the time, but then you can jump in, so you get the notification.
Yes, that is a really great tip. I do that as well. I think it's most helpful if you have a less common name, like myself and Yoav. If your name is Joe and you have a lot of Joes in the workspace, that might get a little noisy for you, but good tip. So finally, also be sure to configure your app notifications. I know there's been some chat about the PhotoShelter app in the PhotoShelter brands community. So that app will notify you whenever someone uploads a new photo to your gallery. There are different notification settings as well for that. So make sure you configure those. That way you're getting notified about what's important to you. Next up is searching in Slack. So the search in Slack is actually a very robust feature, and I think it's it makes Slack very useful. As I said earlier, Slack is kind of an amalgamation of your entire community's knowledge, all their conversations, everything they're talking about. So make use of it. Go in there, especially if you're just joining a new community, and see what people are talking about. You can use the channel browser to sort of duck in different channels and see which channels are very active. Slack also has a lot of different filters you can use to filter your search. So you can see in my example here, I remember Yoav mentioned something about favorite pizza toppings in our community workspace. So I searched specifically for messages from Yoav talking about pizza. And Yoav, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were a mushroom guy. I'm a pineapple person myself.
Always.
Yeah, I know pineapple's controversial, but let it go. You can all
I'm into it.
at me later about it. Thank you.
Yeah, we could do a half-half. Well, I'll do half mushroom, you do half pineapple.
Perfect. I love that. All right, so now let's talk about some fun tricks to impress your coworkers and friends. So this is the fun stuff. I think these are some features that really make Slack sort of, and it's very useful also for me in my position as an office manager or for anyone who's sort of in a position of trying to create a community workspace. So down in the bottom corner, you can see Rick Astley over here. You guys all just got Rickrolled. GIFs are very important in Slack. People use them a lot. They're great for just sending to celebrate things or just to kind of convey emotion. They're a little bit more fun than emojis, which are also great. Emojis are great for quick visual updates or for running quick polls. They kind of make your posts stand out a little bit more when you format them. So emojis are another just great feature in Slack. They're very useful for sort of adding a little pizzazz to your messages. Another feature I love is the ability to schedule messages. This is something that had actually been available in email for a while, and it took Slack a little bit of time to catch up. But this is something that's really, really helpful because I know you guys are in meetings all day, but you still have messages that need to go out at certain times. So You can use the schedule message feature and get those messages out without having to remember. And speaking of remembering, the reminders function. I'm a very forgetful person, so being able to set reminders to do something is very, very helpful for me. You can set reminders directly from messages, or you can use the remind / command to just remind yourself to do something as a one-off. And I just want to note, I know I threw a bunch of features at you. I will make my slides available after this, and I have links to how to use all of these features in there. So don't worry, like, you guys are taken care of. So next I want to talk about how I sort of took these features and put them all together to run a fundraiser here at PhotoShelter. What we did recently is we ran a fundraiser to support both Project Hope and HIAS, which are organizations that raise funds to help folks that are victims of natural disasters or also refugees. So first, what I did is I browsed some of the public social channels here at PhotoShelter with the channel browser. Being that I was new to the company, I didn't really know what people are talking about, what they're interested in, and it should come as no surprise that folks at PhotoShelter like photography. They like sharing photos. So I sort of based the whole premise of our fundraiser around that. I set a prompt every day, and people could post a photo relating to the prompt. For every photo posted, PhotoShelter would donate $10. And then to run this, I created a channel just for this specific purpose. So we had a special fundraiser channel. That way, anything related to the fundraiser is in that one channel. I also starred the channel and turned on all notifications because I wanted to make sure I was following everything happening in there very closely throughout the week that we ran the fundraiser. I also scheduled my daily message prompts. They were set to go off every day at 9 a.m. I was not always at my computer available at 9 a.m., so scheduling these message prompts just took that off my plate. Throughout the week, I monitored everyone's submissions, and I reacted with emojis. Everyone else reacted with emojis. It just made it very fun. That way everyone knew that everyone was enjoying the photos that were being shared. And finally, when the fundraiser ended, I archived the channel. That way there's not an inactive channel floating on people's sidebars, just to keep things tidy. So here you can see our Friday challenge at PhotoShelter. One of our goals is to help creatives thrive. So that was sort of the theme for our Friday challenge. I asked folks to show me something that they made. And we got a wide range of submissions. These are a few of them. So we have a beautiful painting of a horseshoe crab, a delicious peach pie, and then I know you guys have heard from Jeremy a bit. He actually submitted this photo that's like a cool mirror image. It's very beautiful and symmetrical. Yeah, and so I hope that all of these tips were very helpful for you guys. I hope that they're helpful whether you're an organizer or a participant in the community, like I said, and that's all I've got for you.